Sorry for the delay. So we are starting the class little late today, but unavoidable. So Hare Krishna and good evening and welcome all of you all for the Saturday evening Bhagavatam class. So today we have to start with chapter number 4, right? And today we are going to complete with chapter number 4. This is the fast. We have to go through this chapter very fast because we are going to have a long time with chapter 8 and 9. Kunti Stuti and then Bhishma Stuti, and you all have to by heart Kunti Stuti also. So Kunti Stuti and Bhishma Stuti. So it will take a lot of time. So we'll go a little faster. Of course, the next chapter will take a little time, but this chapter will try to go a little faster. We'll try to finish it today. If not, balance will finish it next week. Okay. So this is the chapter where Narad Muni appears, the appearance of Narad Muni, how Bhagavatam was written. This is going to be describing about that whole process. So can anyone read? Shraddha, can you read? Oh.
Vyasadeva said on hearing Sutta Goswami speak thus, Saunaka Muni.
Here, itna bada screen mein.
Saunaka Muni, who was the elderly learned leader of the Rishis engaged in that prolonged sacrificial ceremony, congratulated Sutta Goswami by addressing him as follows.
Shaunaka said,
O Sutta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. Please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Sukadeva Goswami.
So this is how the actual Bhagavatam is starting now. Okay, actual Bhagavatam is starting where Shaunakadi Rishis, that is Shaunak, who is the leader of all the 88,000 Rishis sitting at Naimisharanya, is putting forth a question towards Sutta Goswami. And he says, "Oh Sutta Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite." See, it's a great privilege for one to listen to Bhagavatam also. What to talk about, one to speak and recite. Because in the Bhagavat Mahatmya, it clearly says that just by hearting one shloka of Bhagavatam, one is entitled to go back to Godhead. So that's why we don't want to take any chance. That's why we are reciting so many shlokas. कि भाई पक्का guaranteed. अपना कई गलती से चेकिंग में एक आध वर्ष गलती हो गया, प्रोनाउंसिएशन गलती हो गया तो सब में फिर एंड में ग्रेस मार्क्स दे के पास हो जाएंगे हम लोग. So that is what the main focus is. So he asked this question. Yes, who can read next from this side? Okay. Chandrakant, read. Then Samrat. Okay.
In what period and at what place was this first begun? And why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature?
So the first question is where, how, कहाँ पे लिखा गया, कैसे लिखा गया, and how did Vyasa get the inspiration to write? Because Vyasa's job was cutting the Vedas into 4 parts, then compiling. He didn't write anything of that sort. He only wrote was Mahabharata. And people generally ask, गीता में कहाँ लिखा है नॉन वेज नहीं खाने का? गीता में कहाँ लिखा है शराब नहीं पीना है? अरे बाबा, गीता में नहीं है मगर महाभारत में तो सब है. Vyasadeva says, one who reads the Mahabharata is enough. That much knowledge is enough. Enough to cross over this ocean of miseries. ये भवसागर तरने के लिए काफ़ी है. So from where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadeva, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile the literature? Read the next question also.
His Vyasadeva's son was a great devotee and equibalanced modist whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was transcendental to mundane activities, but being unexposed, he appeared like an ignorant person.
Here, what does monism actually mean? What does the word, Sanskrit word is nirvipalkshaha. What is the meaning of monism? Monism means वो ब्रह्मवादी थे, वो साकारवादी नहीं थे. Vyasadeva's son Sukadeva Goswami was Brahman. Jyoti philosophy. But later he changed into Sakar Vyadi, or rather into the Bhagwan principle. But he was into the Brahman and Paramatma philosophy. That was his earlier philosophy. So he is asking Vyasdev's son, the great devotee, Shukdev Goswami, he was so unbalanced. Why did he appear like an ignorant person? Because he appeared like a very common man. So aage aayega. It's very nice. We can read this. Yeah, next verse.
While Sri Vyasdeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth. Although Sri Vyasdeva himself was not naked, but they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified, and when looking at them made no distinction between male and female. But the sage made such distinctions.
Please read the purport.
In the Bhagavad Gita 5.18, it is said that a learned sage looks equally on a learned and gentle Brahmana, a Chandala, dog eater, or dog, or a cow, due to his spiritual vision. Srila Sukadeva Goswami attained that stage. Thus, he did not see a male or female. He saw all living entities in different dress. The ladies who were bathing could understand the mind of a man simply by studying his demeanor. Just as by looking at a child, one can understand how innocent he is. Sukadeva Goswami was a young boy, 16 years old, and therefore all the parts of his body were developed. He was naked also, and so were the ladies. But Sukadeva Goswami was transcendental to sex relations. He appeared very innocent. The ladies, by their special qualifications, could sense this at once, and therefore they were not very concerned about him. But when his father passed, the ladies quickly dressed. The ladies were exactly like his children or grandchildren, yet they reacted to the presence of Vyasdeva according to the social customs, because Srila Vyasdeva played the part of a householder. A householder has to distinguish between male and female, otherwise he cannot be a householder. One should therefore attempt to know the distinction between body and soul without any attachment for male and female. As long as such distinction is there, one should not try to become a sannyasi like Sukadeva Goswami. At least theoretically, one must be convinced that a living entity is neither male or female. The outward dress is made of matter by material nature to attract the opposite sex and thus keep one entangled in material existence. A liberated soul is above this perverted distinction. He does not distinguish between one living being and another. For him, they are all one and the same spirit. The perfection of this spiritual vision is the liberated and Srila Sukadeva Goswami attained that stage. Srila Vyasdeva was also in the transcendental stage, but because he was a householder's life, he did not pretend to be a liberated soul as a matter of custom.
So here we have to understand 3-4 things. So let's understand the situation in a small gist. For 16 years, Sukadeva Goswami was in his mother's womb. माँ के घर में थे 16 साल. बाद में जब द्वारकाधीश आए बोले आ जाओ भाई मेरा माया तुझे पकड़ेगा नहीं. He just got out of his mother's womb, took the umbilical cord, wrapped it around his neck and started walking towards the jungle. He never even said thanks to his mother. That time, Sukadeva Goswami, his father, Vyasdeva, came running behind him. Oh my son, it will come further. The sound was resonating back from the trees. But he did not turn back. And that time, when there was a small pond where the ladies were taking bath naked, there when he went past by, the ladies did not bother also. They in fact paid obeisance to him. But when Vyasdeva came, the great Vyasdeva, the ladies covered themselves. So what does this mean? A true sannyasi is one who doesn't see the difference between male and female body. I've always said from the day one, we are a spirit soul. And a soul does not have a gender. The body is given as per our karmas. But one who sees through the body as all one in all. This is a very important verse. विद्या विनय संपन्ने ब्राह्मणे गवै हस्तिने सुनि चैव स्वपाके चैव पंडिता समदर्शिनः. This is the definition of a panditah. Pandita means one who has samadarshinaha. He doesn't differentiate between rich and poor, fat and slim, young and old, beautiful and ugly, male and female. He is panditah samadarshina. That is why vidya vinay sampanne. This is complete vidya, complete knowledge. भाई ये तो ठीक है, आज अगर कोई खूबसूरत औरत आती है, आई एम वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, आई एम यंग, फाइन, हाउ मेनी डेज आर यू गोइंग टू बी ब्यूटीफुल? फ्यू इयर्स एंड देन wrinkles आर गोइंग टू कम, यू आर गोइंग टू लूज योर चरिश्मा, योर ब्यूटी. थोड़े दिन में आप बूढ़े हो जाओगे, ठीक है, प्लास्टिक सर्जरी करोगे, ये करोगे, वो करोगे, हाउ मच? देयर इज नो पॉसिबिलिटी. सो दैट इज विद्या विनय संपन्ने. देन ही डजंट डिफरेंशिएट ओल्ड और यंग, fat or slim, black or white. It doesn't. For him, he is just one soul. That is level of Shukdev Goswami. But to achieve that, that is why when Shukdev Goswami was reciting the Bhagavatam, learnt from his father. पिताजी से सीखा. He was reciting to Parikshit Maharaj, और सुन रहे कौन रहा है? व्यास देव. पिता बैठ के सुन रहा है. लिखा उसने, बट बेटा सुन, बाप, बेटा बोल रहा है, बाप सुन रहा है. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस डिफरेंशिएटिंग नेचर ऑफ अ ह्यूमन बीइंग. दैट इज व्हाट मेक्स अ पर्सन डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अ ट्रू सन्यासी. फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, इन कलयुगा सन्यासी इज बैंड. यू कैन नॉट टेक सन्यास. In Kali-yuga, it is banned. What is that? Devrinona Sutotpatti Pancho Kalo Varjitaha. I'm not getting the first line. अश्वमेधम गवालंबम संन्यासम फल पैतृकम देवऋणेन सुतोत्पत्ति पंचम कलव विवर्जितः. दिस इज द वर्स. These 5 things are banned in Kali Yuga. Always remember, अश्वमेधम, अश्वमेध यज्ञ रामचंद्र जी ने किया, युधिष्ठिर महाराज ने किया. We cannot do in Kali Yuga. क्यों?
The scholars and the reciters and the...
चलो वो भी पकड़ के लेके आया. चलो ज्ञानी व्यानी पकड़ के लेके आ गया. तो शुद्धता, चलो शुद्धता भी करवा दिया. फर्स्ट इज अल्पायु एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, द मनी रिक्वायर्ड फॉर डूइंग वन अश्वमेध यज्ञ. इट इन टुडेज कॉस्ट शायद होल वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमी लेंगे तो शायद एक अश्वमेध यज्ञ हुआ. इट इज़ ट्रू. इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट इन टूडेज डेट टू डू. येस, आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू आर नॉट रॉन्ग, यू आर 100% राइट. नो दैट वो शुद्धता नहीं, वो क्लेनलीनेस नहीं रहा, वो प्योरिटी नहीं है, ना ही वो लेवल के विद्वान है आज के तारीख में. सो ऑल दीज रीजन्स की वजह से अश्वमेधम गवालंबम, sannyasam phalapaitrikam. Gavalambam means there are so many other things. I mean, if we go into that, then otherwise I will be describing only this verse. So let me come to the crux of it. एक पॉइंट लेके जाना पड़ेगा. संन्यासम फलपैतृकम. संन्यासम, व्हाट इज दैट? संन्यास, संन्यास ले नहीं सकते क्योंकि अभी तक वो लेवल ऑफ व्हाट यू से भक्ति नहीं. सन्यासी के लिए फर्स्ट इज डोंट नीड भक्ति, वैराग्य. वो लेवल ऑफ वैराग्य नहीं पॉसिबल है इन थिंग. दैट इज वाई all other yugas you got other ways of doing devotion service, but when it comes to Kali Yuga the only way is chanting the holy name. इसके लिए यहाँ पे आप संन्यास भी लोगे तो भी वही करेगा जो आप करोगे. You go and ask the topmost person in any व्हाट इज ए धार्मिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और स्पिरिचुअल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, वो भी माला लेके बैठा रहेगा, आप भी माला लेके बैठोगे, और किसी रास्ते में बैठा हुआ एक वेरी स्मॉल सो कॉल्ड साधु और समथिंग, इवन ही विल बी सिटिंग विद चैंटिंग द होली नेम. सो द ओनली वे एंड प्रोसेस इज संन्यास. इसमें फलपैतृकम देवरण सुतो उत्पत्ति ये सब है, अगर वो एक्सप्लेन करूँगा I can't complete today. So this is the sloka from the Shastra. Okay, next verse. Who will read from this side? Fast, Priya, read.
How was he, Srila Sukhdev, the son of Vyas, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapur, now Delhi, after wandering in the provinces of Kuru and Jungle, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded?
Next verse.
How did it so happen that King Parikshit met this great sage, making it possible for the great transcendental essence of the Vedas, Bhagavatam, to be sung to him?
How did the great Shukdev Goswami meet Parikshit Maharaj? ये भी तो एक सवाल उठता है ना. So these are all the questions asked. So that's why I'm going fast, because this chapter is only questions. Okay, Harsha, read.
He, Sukhdev Goswami, was accustomed to stay at the door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked, and he did this just to sanctify the residence.
That's very important. Huh? Why sadhus are called to the house, or one should take darshan of the sadhus, is very important. साधु का दर्शन इसके लिए लेने का है, not that you are going to purify the sadhu. By seeing the sadhu, your sins are clarified. Just by taking darshan of sadhus, your sins are nullified or reduced. Tell you a small story on this, then you will all understand. Once there was one hunter. एकदम जंगल में रहता था वो हंटर. बस उसको एक ही मालूम है, जानवर पकड़ना, काटना और खाना. तो ही वॉज हैप्पी. डेली 2-3 जानवर खा लेता था. तो one day he happened to come across one sage. He didn't know who a sage is. उसको पता नहीं था साधु कौन है. देखा ये कोई बैठा है, रहेगा कोई मेरे जैसा दूसरा टाइप ऑफ हंटर रहेगा, बड़ा आलसी आदमी है, बैठा है, अरे मेहनत नहीं कर रहा है, बैठा है कुटिया के बाहर बैठा है, आएगा कोई ना कोई जानवर आएगा तब पकड़ूंगा. तो देख के चला गया. बट ही वॉज अट्रैक्टेड बाय द साधु. सो एवरी टाइम whenever he used to come this side to this side, he used to come and visit this sadhu. Again and again he saw the sadhu. His heart changed. He got purified. Then one day he thought, चलो यार इस साधु पे थोड़ा कृपा कर, मतलब इस हंटर पे कृपा करता हूँ. For him he was a hunter because he had never seen who a sadhu is. He put a net, caught a deer and went and took it. ले जा ऐश कर. साधु से अरे दूर कर भागो, उठाओ उठाओ इधर से, ये क्या लेके आया तुम? अरे तुम्हारे लिए फ्री में लेके आया विदाउट एनी चार्जेस, और तुम बोल रहे लेके जाओ. ले लो साहब, आप ले लो. नहीं मैं अरे आपको मेहनत करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बढ़िया रहता है इसका मटन खाओ, बढ़िया रहता है इसका खाने में, मज़ा आएगा आपको. साधु बोला नहीं मैं इसके लिए नहीं आया हूँ. तो फिर किसके लिए आए हो, क्या कर रहे हो, क्या ढूंढना है, कौन सा स्पेसिफिक जानवर चाहिए? मैं कृष्ण मृग के लिए आया हूँ. व्हाट डिड ही टेल हिम? मैं कृष्ण मृग के लिए आया. तो कृष्ण मृग, अच्छा वो कैसा जानवर है बताओ मेरे को, पकड़ के लेके आता हूँ कल. बोलो, मैं तो एक्सपर्ट हंटर हूँ यहाँ का. बोला ठीक है मैं वर्णन बताता हूँ. सो ही डिस्क्राइब्ड हिम हाउ कृष्णा लुक्स, dark colored, beautiful eyes, lotus like eyes and beautiful lips, wearing a kridam with more punk and beautiful decoration of Krishna. अच्छा ठीक है, अभी आपको वादा किया ना लेके आऊँगा. ये बोला हाँ चल जा, पकड़ के लेके जा. बड़े को नहीं मिला है कृष्ण वर्ग, तो हम बैठ गया अपना जप रहे, माला जप रहे हैं. ये गया, अगला दिन जाल बिछाया. बोला यार उसने बोला कृष्ण मृग, जब तक उसको पकड़ूंगा नहीं, ना मैं अन्न खाऊंगा ना मैं जल पीऊंगा, किसी भी तरह पकड़ के पहले उसको दूंगा। तो 3 दिन बाद, 3 दिन गया, कुछ नहीं हुआ। तीसरा दिन परेशान, अरे यार ये कृष्ण मृग आएगा कब, पकड़ूंगा कब। अचानक देखा कुछ तो आ गया जाल में, नजदीक जाके देखा, एज पर द डिस्क्रिप्शन some person was there who was looking dark blue with nice dots, beautiful eyes, everything. कस के पकड़ा उसको, अरे तुझे, तेरे लिए तो मैं इतना दिन 3 दिन से भूखा बैठा हूँ, चल। कंधे पे लादा और सीधा लेके गया उस साधु के पास, बोला ये ले, यही चाहिए ना तुझे, इसको खा। And he saw the sadhu literally went dizzy, went for a minute he was unconscious. He got up, fell at his feet. छोड़ो इनको, इसमें से निकल। अरे तुम क्या अभी छोड़ो छोड़ो बोल रहा, अभी तो पकड़ के लेके आया मैं इसको, बड़े मुश्किल से पकड़ के लेके आया, 3 दिन के बाद तो मिला है ये, अब छोड़ो छोड़ो बोल रहे। अरे ये कौन है पता है क्या, छोड़ो पहले। देखा तो भगवान स्वयं खड़े हैं। तो भगवान को बोला, भगवान आप इसके जाल में कैसे फंसे, आप इसके जाल में कैसे फंसे, और मैं इतने सालों से योग तपस्या कर रहा हूं मैं, हाँ इतने साल से भक्ति कर रहा हूं, मुझे नहीं मिला, और इस गंवार क्रिमिनल एटीट्यूड वाला हंटर को आप मिल गए। इमीडिएटली कृष्णा सेड, मैं क्या करूं, यू आर बिहाइंड मी, बट ही वॉज नॉट बिहाइंड मी, ही वॉज बिहाइंड यू। He wanted to serve you, and for that sake he was hungry for 3 days and 3 nights. That tapasya is bigger than doing tapasya for me. You have a goal. See, I mean, let's understand this. We all are having Krishna as a goal. कुछ तो फायदा है, जो भी है, there's some benefit I'm going to get. If I get him, I'll get out of the cycle of birth and death. Someone will say, I will do, I'll be free from all these problems and all that, and I can enjoy life, and that's my constitutional position, blah, 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 blah. But one, with ahetuki, when he serves a sadhu, that service to the sadhu pleases God more than your service directly to God. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, we are Gopi Bharatalu Das Dasanu Das. Rather we serve the Ashtasakis rather than trying to serve Radharani, rather than trying to serve Krishna himself. It is better that we go down the lane, down the system. That is more better, more safer. अच्छा, उसको कोई पाप लगा कृष्ण को पकड़ने का जाल में, क्यों? Because he was serving that sadhu. That was the bottom line for that sadhu. That is the only focus of that sadhu. कि मैं इस साधु को जो भी है उसको खुश करना है, मुझे इसको लाके देना है। कृष्ण मृग, कौन कृष्ण कौन मृग कुछ मालूम नहीं उसको, but he caught him and Krishna came. And the worst part for the sadhu was, मैं इतने सालों से यहाँ अकेले जंगल में बैठ के तपस्या कर रहा हूँ, मेरे हाथ में कुछ आया नहीं, और इसके जाल में मस्त फंस के बैठे हो। हाँ, that is why this statement is very important. Is accustomed to stay in a door of a householder only long enough for a cow to be milked. उतने देर एक साधु रुकता है घर पे, साधु ज़्यादा देर रुकता नहीं है, and he stays only for maximum 5 or 10 minutes. गाय में से दूध निकाल लेगा, बट उतने में क्या करता है, and he did this just to sanctify the residence. जो घर में वो खड़े हैं उस घर का शुद्धता बनाना है. That is how we have to understand. Krishna is not, it's a great pleasure to serve those who are serving Krishna. It's a great pleasure. Okay, let's go to the next verse. I want to complete today. Who can read? You finished? Harsha, you finished? Okay, Dipti Mataji, read.
It is said that Maharaj Parikshit is a great first-class devotee of the Lord, and that his birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him.
That will come in the next chapter. Further chapters will come. Okay. Yes.
He was a great emperor and possessed all the opulences of his acquired kingdom. He was so exalted that he was increasing the prestige of the Pandu dynasty. Why did he give up everything to sit down on the bank of Ganges and fast until death?
This is a big question to many people. We do so much of tapasya to get all the opulence of a king. And he had opulence of all the king. But he left everything and he sat down at the bank of Ganges. No, whenever in the newspaper also, कोई धनी व्यक्ति अगर दीक्षा लेके Jains में some rich people a few years before, one Jain person, family person, he took diksha by giving up. It became a news. Why? Generally people are not accustomed to giving up their money. ये कौन है भाई जिसने अपना पैसा छोड़ के सब घर बार छोड़ के किसने दीक्षा लिया? So that is a question of concern to people in general. Who is there? Next, who can read fast?
He was such a great emperor that all his enemies would come and bow down at his feet and surrender all their wealth for their own benefit. He was full of youth and strength, and he possessed kingly opulences that were difficult to give up. Why did he want to give up everything, including his life?
So this is a big question. All for the general reasons for which people give up their life. General reason they don't want to give up their life is he has got youthhood, he has got strength, he has got wealth, and people are bowing down towards him at his feet. ये सब होने के बाद भी why did he give it up? Everything, including his life. That is the question which is asked by the Shaunakadi rishis, that is 88,000 rishis. Yes, Tanita Madai, one more.
Those who are devoted to the cause of the personality of Godhead live only for the welfare, development, and happiness of others. They do not live for any selfish interest. So, even though the emperor Parikshit was free from all attachment to worldly possessions, how could he give up his mortal body, which was a shelter for others?
This is the biggest problem. When Dadichi Muni, you all must be knowing the story of Chitraketu Maharaj. Yeah. In Chitraketu Maharaj was to be killed. What was the only way to kill him was Dadichi Muni's bones were to be used as a vajra to kill Vritrasur. So when Vritrasur was to be killed, so they went and told Dadichi Muni. All the devatas went because Vishnu had told, Narayana had told. So they went and told him. They first praised him and then he said, please give us your body. And he also played some game. He knew Narayana has told, what is the need for him to wait? But immediately he played some games. They were, you are asking someone to give up his body. You think it is right? Is it justified? Is it any one of you will give your body or asking me to give up the body? At that time, the sages and the demigods tried to give a very nice, pleasing answers. But although the most important answer was, yes, everyone lives for his own self. But who gives up his body for the sake of others? By giving up your one body, you will save millions of living beings. So that is the reason why you should give up the body. And that is why he gives up his body. So this is a big question which people generally worry. Why do not live for any selfish interest? Even though the Emperor Parikshit was free from all attachment in worldly possessions, how could he give up his material body, which is not only, generally we will say, अरे मेरा तो कोई जीवन से कुछ संबंध नहीं है. But then आप क्या बोलोगे? अरे तुम जिंदा रहो मेरे लिए. बच्चा क्या बोलेगा? पिता आप जिंदा रहो मेरे लिए. पत्नी बोलेगी तुमको जिंदा रहो मेरे लिए. सब लोग पूछेंगे जिंदा रहो मेरे लिए. खुद के लिए नहीं, तुमको खुद के लिए नहीं रहना, नो प्रॉब्लम, मेरे लिए जिंदा रहो. That is why they are asking, when he is a shelter for other living entities, why is giving up his body? That's the question asked. Oh, can read from this side. Come on, Uma, read. Where is Gauri? Come. Acha. ठीक है, read.
We know that you are expert in the meaning of all the subjects, except some portion of the Vedas, and thus you can clearly explain the answers to all the questions we have just put to you.
So most important thing is one should know whom to ask what question. किसको जाके क्या प्रश्न पूछना है, वो सही जवाब देगा. Today afternoon I was taking a class, that ladies class, and one Mataji asking, प्रभु जी कल एकादशी है, आलू खा सकते हैं क्या? Well, I asked you have any doubts or questions with respect to the lecture, and that Mataji asking me doubts questions, आलू खा सकते हैं क्या? I mean, that's what it is. I mean, one has to evolve more. That's the thing. Okay, read.
Sutta Goswami said, when the second millennium overlapped the third, the great sage Vyasdeva was born to Parashara in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of Vasu.
Please understand, Vasu was a fisherman and his daughter was Satyavati. It is said that her body used to smell like a fish. When Parashar Bhatt, her job was to transport people from one side of the sea on the river to the other side of the river. So when Satyavati was doing it, Parashar Muni was sitting in the boat. Suddenly in the middle of the boat, in the middle of the journey, through divine knowledge, he came to know that at this moment, if a child is born, he will be as good as God himself. Because Vyasdeva is none other than, that's why his name is Krishna. Krishna Dvyapayan Vyasadeva. So he prayed to him. Immediately he told Satyavati, please, with your help, I want to have a child. She said, how can I? You have to ask my father, I am not married also. No, I cannot wait till that much time. That is a very small muhurata. In this small muhurata, I want this child. So immediately Satyavati said, then then I can never get married to anyone, any man. He said, don't worry, your virginity will be remaining intact. I will just want your help so that I can conceive a child. And immediately he created a cloud of smoke, फिल्मों में दिखाते ना ऐसा, वैसे एक smoke cloud create किया, smoky place, and it is said like this boat became like a dweep. Dweep means island, and immediately Vyasdeva was born. And mind you, Vyasdeva it was not that he born as a small child and then he became big. He directly was born as a big boy. He immediately bowed down to his mother and he said, you have given birth to me, mother. At any time you require any help, please let me know. That is why when she requires at the time of Vichitraveer and the Pandu, all the Kauravas to be born, when Gandhari delivered a lump of flesh, she divided all this flesh put it in various pots, and through which 100 children were born. So that's why he came later on also. That's the time he gave Sanjay also the divine eyes, just before the war. So the thing is, and after that conceiving of Vyasdev, Satyavati became Gandha Yojani, from a bad, foul-smelling fish-like body smell. That was one of the reasons she told Parashar that how can you ever have contact with me? I am smelling like a fish. He said, don't worry. Immediately she was smelling like so fragrant for 1 yojan. For 1 yojan diameter. That is why Gandha. Gandha means nice smell. Nice smell. Yojani means for 1 yojan, wherever she could walk, for 1 yojan, this bright, nice smell used to come instead of the small, foul smell of fish. So that is how it is done. So that is what is the story of Singh. And most important, when the second millennium overlaps the third millennium, please try to understand what is the sequence. Satyug, Dwapar, Treta, Kalyug. This is the general or every millennium works on this. Satyug, Dwapar, Treta, Kalyug. Whereas only when specified, it is specified here, when the second millennium, that is Dwapar, was overlapped by the third Treta. इसके लिए सिर्फ ये युग चक्र में first was Satya, then Treta. Treta means 3, Tre means 3. तो 3 होना चाहिए, बट पहले 3 आया, फिर द्वा मीन्स 2, फिर द्वापर आया, फिर कलयुग आया. जब भी ये साइकिल में ये ओवरलैपिंग होता है या फ्लिपिंग होता है, इन दैट साइकिल ओनली स्वयं कृष्णा इज बोर्न. इन अदर लीलास, इन ऑल द चतुर्युगास, the various leelas happen. Ramchandra ji is born, Parashuram is born, everyone comes. But Krishna Swayam, Krishna coming is only when this overlapping takes place. Yes, Shivdat.
Once upon a time, he, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning
Oblations.
in the waters of Saraswati and sat alone to concentrate. The great sage Vyasadeva saw
Anomalies.
in the duty of
Millenniums.
millennium. This happens on the earth in different ages due to unseen forces in the course of time.
Okay, read.
The great sage was fully equipped to knowledge, could see through his transcendental vision the
Deterioration.
of everything material due to the influence of the age. He could also see that the faithless person is in general would be reduced in duration of life and would be impatient due to the lack of goodness. Thus he
Contemplated
for the welfare of man in all
status and order of life. Please understand. Important understanding given is here, impatient due to lack of goodness. Now, what does this mean? What does this clarity gives us? Why Kalyug people are impatient? Abhi chahiye. You want everything now. That is why loans are more prominent, na? क्यों लोन्स कहाँ से चालू होगा? अभी चाहिए, हाँ लोन ले लो, हाँ लोन लेके लूँगा, कर्जा लेके लूँगा. हम लोग के ज़माने में हमारे दादाजी बोलते थे, एक बार भूखा सो जाना मगर कर्जा लेना मत. और आजकल कितना लोन है? हाँ, अरे वाह, कितने का गफला कर रहे हो? अरे इतने का गफला कर रहे हो, वेरी नाइस. आजकल गफले भी लोन पे हो रहे हैं. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस. दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ गुडनेस. द मोड ऑफ गुडनेस इज वेरी लेस इन कलियुगा. इट वॉज predominantly it was because of the mode of goodness one becomes patient, because it is lack of goodness people become impatient. Abhi ka abhi chahiye. That's the reason, and these are some of the defects which Vyasadeva could see in Kali Yuga, that there is deterioration on everything material. मतलब शारीरिक रूप में everything is deterioration due to the influence of the age. You also could see the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life and would be impatient due to lack of goodness. So please understand, we are in Kali Yuga, we are still faithless. In spite of telling you all so much, why we don't have that much of faith of chanting, that determination of chanting, the determination of doing devotion service. माना प्रभु जी करते हैं, but if all that comes, why? The only reason is because of this age itself is such. इसके लिए यहाँ पे मैंने आपको नहीं बोला कि हाँ एक टांग पे खड़ा रहो, उल्टा खड़ा रहो और तपस्या करो 1 महीने के लिए, 6 महीने के लिए या 10 साल के लिए. It's not possible. It is only possible by chanting the holy name. But these are the drawbacks in listening. अभी कल आप लोग मत बोलना, अरे प्रभु जी ऑलरेडी आपने कल बताया ना इतना कलयुग में है तो हम कैसे करें भाई? ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. नहीं भाई, यू कैन डोंट टेक दिस थिंग. Yes, the easiest process is given to you. In Kali Yuga, the easiest process is given to you by just you have to chant the holy name. माला लेके माला भगवान का नाम जपना है. But मैं कलयुग का आदमी हूँ, ऐसा मत बोलो. Okay, Dr. Saab, would you please read?
He was that the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas were means by which the people's occupations could be purified. And to simplify the process, he divided the one's Veda into 4 in order to expand them amongst men.
Starting, there was only one Veda, that was Yajur Veda, which he divided into 4, Rig, Sam, Atharva and Yajur. So ये 4 वेदों में बाद में बैठा गया. पहला एक ही वेद था और वो था यजुर्वेद. यस, निकिता बलसरा माता जी.
The 4 divisions of the original sources of knowledge, the Vedas, were made separately, but the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the 5th Veda.
Many people come and say, पुराना क्या पढ़ने का? पुराना है. पुराना सर, पुराना क्या पढ़ना है? कल का न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ोगे आप लोग? कल का न्यूज़पेपर कोई पढ़ेगा? नहीं पढ़ेगा. कल का न्यूज़ सुनेगा कोई? नहीं. पुराना है. So how do we understand this? Vyasdev writing all Puranas, Purana Mal. What do we understand that? How do we understand? Come on, fast. आज कंप्लीट करना ही है चैप्टर मुझे.
4 वेद थे.
नहीं, वो 4 वेदों का हो गया. He made separated. Then the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas. 18 पुराण है ना? 18 Puranas he wrote are the 5th Vedas. They are the Pancham Veda. Pancham Veda कौन सा है? इतिहास एंड पुराण. इतिहासा, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज इतिहासा एंड पुराणा. एंड इतिहासा में क्या आता है? हाँ, इतिहासा मीन्स हिस्ट्री. रामायण एंड महाभारत दे कम अंडर इतिहास. हाँ, ये सब पुराण में आ गया. हाँ, तो संहिता मीन्स डायरी. पुराणा. पूर्ण नव यौवन, दैट इज व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ पूर्ण नव इज पुराणा. हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? पुराणा. सिंपल. तो ऐसा नहीं होता है पुराणा. पुनर्नव. अगेन ऑल्सो इट इज एट एनी टाइम इट विल बी एप्लीकेबल, इट विल बी न्यू. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड एज पुराणा. सो हम लोग क्या पुराणा बोलते हैं? नहीं, इट इज पूर्ण. ओके. Okay, next fast. Nikita, read.
After the Vedas were divided into 4 divisions, Paila Rishi became the professor of the Rig Ved, Jamini the professor of the Sam Ved, Vaishampayana alone became glorified by the Yajur Veda.
4 Vedas तोड़ा, अथर्व, साम, ऋग एंड यजुर. तो क्या किया? पहले उसने पहले ऋषि के हाथ में ऋग्वेद दे दिया. ऋग्वेद वॉज गिवन टू पहले ऋषि. जैमिनी ऋषि वॉज गिवन द सामवेद. एंड वैशंपायन टुक यजुर्वेद विथ हिमसेल्फ. यस. अंगिरा मुनि को क्या दिया? प्लीज रीड.
The Sumantu Muni Angira, who was very devotedly engaged, was entrusted with the Atharva Veda, and my father
Romasharsha
was entrusted with the Puranas and historical record.
So Sut Goswami's father Romaharshan was in charge of Itihasas and Puranas, and Atharva Ved was given to Angira Rishi. So लिख के रखना, पढ़ लेना, जैसे क्वेश्चंस पूछा जाएगा. या शशिकला माता जी, कैन यू रीड? ओके, हु कैन रीड नेक्स्ट बिसाइड्स? यू कैन रीड. यस, रीड. हाँ, कमिंग टू यू. वेट.
Learned scholars in their turn rendered their entrusted Vedas unto their many disciples, grand disciples and great grand disciples, and thus the respective branches of the followers of the Vedas came into being.
They gave it to their disciples, they gave it to their grand disciples, and they gave it it to their grand disciples. So इस हिसाब से ऊपर से नीचे तक आया. डॉक्टर साहब.
Thus the great sage Vyasdeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, meditate the Vedas so they might be as assimilated by
less intelligent people. तो हम लोग less intelligent हैं तो वो लोग पढ़ सकते हैं. Yes माता जी, next verse. डॉक्टर साहब आपने पढ़े? आपने पढ़े?
Out of compassion, the great sage thought
it is wise
that this would enable man to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Thus, he compiled the great historical narration called the Mahabharata for women, lovers, and friends of the twice born.
Friends of the twice born. Who are the twice born? ब्राह्मणास. द्विज. तो उनका फ्रेंड्स कौन है? ब्राह्मण का फ्रेंड कौन है? No. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. They are the two hands of the Brahmanas. The Kshatriya will take care of, protect the Brahmanas, and the Vaishyas will feed the Brahmanas. That is the economy, that is they are in the business community. So the Vaishya community is supposed to take care of the Brahmanas and the Kshatriya is supposed to protect. So they are supposed to be friends. But that is why what is he saying? So that it could be assimilated by less intelligent people. And here is quietly mentioning women and laborers, that is Shudras and women. Women are supposed to be less intelligent. Now here always, how can you say that, Prabhuji? How dare you say that? It's not that women. If that was the case, Mirabai could have never gone back to Correct. It's wrong. It is generally said that women are more attached to sense gratification. Even if a man, he is attached to too much of sense gratification, he is considered equal to be a woman. He is not considered to be a man. A man means one should not go to his beauty parlor. What do you imagine? Men going to beauty parlors. And then you call him a man. Then what's the difference between the woman? If a lady goes to a beauty parlor, it makes sense. Right? आज के बाद कोई जाने वाला है? I hope not. Okay. Yes, Manika Mataji.
O twice-born Brahmana, still his mind was not satisfied, although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself.
Wait. Now let's understand these two verses a little bit. First and foremost, the twice Brahmana still in his mind was not satisfied. कितना लिखा? 4 वेद लिखा. ओके, ठीक है, लिखा नहीं, बट एटलीस्ट बाइफरकेट करके एंड लिखा है, उसको रीराइट किया है, सो दैट इट कैन बी असिमुलेटेड बाय लेस इंटेलिजेंट पीपल. देन उसके बाद इतिहास एंड पुराना लिख के देखो, मालूम पड़े महाभारत 1 लाख श्लोकस. 1 लाख श्लोकस है. कोई ऐसा नहीं है महाभारत पढ़ने बैठोगे भी तो भी अपना पूरा आधा जीवन निकल जाएगा. एंड दैट टू विथ नॉलेज ही हैज रिटन दैट. 18 Puranas. Then Samhitas, Agamas, there are so many sub branches to that. After writing everything, not satisfied. It's like a film producer making slogging very hardly, बहुत मेहनत करके एक फिल्म प्रोड्यूस किया और उसको एंड में फिल्म बनाने के बाद मजा नहीं है. 1000 टेक, 1000 रीटेक सब किया, फिर भी मजा नहीं आया. क्यों? Why he is not happy? And that little the reflection which will come later. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied in his heart, at once began to reflect because he knew the essence of religion, and he said to himself. Now let me read the next verse. It's very important. I have, under strict disciplinary vows, unpreventiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual master, and the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Shudras and others, that is the friends of the twice born, can see the path of religion. What he has done, he has mentioned here. How he has done, he has mentioned here. Under strict disciplinary vows. ऐसा नहीं कि चाय पीते पीते लिखा हूँ। हाँ, आप लोग जैसे महान लोग हैं, चाय पीते पीते पढ़ते भी रहेंगे। चाय पीते पीते लिखा नहीं उन्होंने इतिहास पुराणास. He has not written the Vedas by casually waiting. चलो आज नाश्ता करके आता हूँ, करता हूँ. No, by following strict disciplinary vows. ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, सब फॉलो किया उसने. And not only that, worshipping the Vedas, the spiritual master, and the altar of fire, the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rules and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of Mahabharata. इतना सब perfect किया है उसने. So he has first mentioned, I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. I am still finding incomplete. मैंने सही काम नहीं किया है, पूरा पिक्चर बनाया, शूटिंग किया, सब किया, but I am not satisfied. Why? पूरा पिक्चर शूट किया, बाद में मरोड़ा, अरे पिक्चर में हीरो ही नहीं रखा मैंने, हीरो ही नहीं है, ये हीरोइन ही नहीं है, दोनों नहीं है, पूरा पिक्चर बन गया. कैसा पिक्चर बनेगा? Because the first line was very important. Let's understand this next verse. This may be because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear to both to perfect beings and to the infallible Lord. This is the crux. He realized his mistake, but फिर भी on his own he has realized. व्यासदेव knew very well कि मैंने I am well equipped, मैंने इतना सब किया, perfectly किया, कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं किया, all the way process of writing was all perfect. But what did he say? This is because I have not specifically pointed out about devotional service. बाकी सब में क्या है? ज्ञान मिश्र भक्ति है, कर्म मिश्र भक्ति है, शुद्ध भक्ति नहीं है. When you read any Purana, you read Ganesh Purana, Ganesh ji is ultimate, all in all. You should read Shiv Puran, Shiv Puran is all in all. You read Skanda Puran, Skanda is all in all. There is Murga. In South May is called as Murgadev, Murgan. So, these, the way they have glorified their various, demigods or whatever it is. But he has not given that pure Bhagavat. That is why he had to write the Bhagavat. And Bhagavat में basically दो चीज़ ही होती है. How many verses are there left more? Two more, no? हाँ. भागवत में basically दो ही चीज़ देखेंगे आप. Story of devotees and Leela of the Lord. बस यही है. The entire Bhagavat, you see only two things will be there. Story of devotees. And that, when you say story of devotees means, उसमें भगवान आ गए. भगवान अलग नहीं है. डिवोटी से आप भगवान को अलग कर ही नहीं सकते हैं. यू थिंक यू कैन सेपरेट गॉड विद फ्रॉम अमरीश महाराज? अमरीश महाराज से नारायण को आप अलग कर सकते हो, ध्रुव महाराज से नरसिंहदेव को अलग कर सकते हो. सो व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ ध्रुव महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज से आप नरसिंहदेव को अलग कर सकते हो. द मिनट वी टॉक अबाउट प्रहलाद महाराज मीन्स वी आर टॉक्ड अबाउट नरसिंहदेव. वी आर टॉक्ड अबाउट ध्रुव महाराज मीन्स नारायण हैज कम. व्हेन यू टॉक्ड अबाउट एनी डिवोटी, the God is there for sure. And the 10th canto is nothing but God's specific. जन्म कर्म च में दिव्यम. भगवान का जन्म और भगवान का कर्म दोनों दिव्य है. चाहे वो रास लीला हो या गोवर्धन उठाना हो या उखल बंधन का लीला हो या कोई भी लीला हो. जन्म कर्म च में दिव्यम एवं यो वेति तत्वतः त्यक्ता देहम पुनर्जन्मम नायति मामेति. सो अर्जुन, Lord clearly says, जो मेरा जन्म और कर्म दोनों दिव्य है, जन्म कर्म च में दिव्यम एवं यो वेति, वेति मीन्स टू नो, जो जान लेता है तत्वतः में, जो जान लेता है उसका क्या होगा? पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते, वापस जन्म नहीं लेगा. सो व्हेन वी अंडरस्टैंड द तत्व ऑफ गॉड, हाँ ठीक है भगवान ने कालिया पे नाचा तो क्या हो, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल एक्सप्लेन टू यू गणेश शिव जी का गले में नाक क्यों है. ओके, नेक्स्ट वर्स. हु विल रीड? यू रीड इट. यू विल कंप्लीट द क्लास टुडे. थोड़ा तपस्या करेंगे.
As mentioned before, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Goswami Vyasa on the bank of the Saraswati just as Vyasdeva was regretting his defects.
When this is, see, please understand, when we go to Badrika Ashram, you will see this. In Badrika Ashram, Lord is sitting and Vyasdev is sitting in Vyas Gufa. Ganesh ji's Gufa is separate. And वहाँ पे ऊपर आप देखोगे कि पोती की पोती का पूरा पत्थर बन गया है, जो अनवांटेड मतलब लिखते हैं ना, नहीं ये नहीं, ये बराबर नहीं, तो ये सब ऊपर डंप इट इन हाउस ना, तो डंप कर करके ऊपर का पोती पत्थर बन गए, और वो भी आज भी पोती की तरफ ही है. एंड when Krishna, when Vyasdev was trying to explain, cry all this, where did this happen? This happened at Badrika Ashram, where Saraswati river is falling. He is sitting there and he is crying, and he is regretting on his defects. He knew his defects. Many a times we know our defects, but solution is given only and only by the spiritual master. Unless until the spiritual master doesn't come, you cannot find out. You may know, I know. You may glorify it also. Some people glorify it. होता नहीं प्रभु जी, जल्दी उठने को होता ही नहीं. What do you want? No, spiritual master to get up in the morning and wake you up. Hey, this is your wake up alarm call. Please get up. You are expecting that? And some people glorify. नहीं होता ही नहीं प्रभु जी, माइग्रेन हो जाता है, ये होता है, चाय पीना पड़ता है. So this is not the way. One has to have the spiritual master. That's why here's the entry of his spiritual master. And what does he say? Read fast.
At the auspicious arrival of Sri Narada, Sri Vyasdeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given
to Brahmaji,
the creator.
So when he came, the first thing what you're supposed to do when you see the spiritual master, just pay your respects to him. That is the most and first important thing. Once Srila Prabhupada entered into Juhu temple and everyone paid obeisance to him. One fellow just was standing and just sitting, Hare Krishna, to Prabhupada. Prabhupada had a walking stick with him. He pointed with the stick with him, no, like a gun. He pointed up. This fellow's downfall has started. What did he say? This fellow's downfall has started. So first thing, whenever you see a sadhu, whenever you see a spiritual master, the first thing you ought to do is offer your obeisance. That's the first thing. And this is what Vyasdev is doing. What to talk about you and me? What to talk about you and me? When Vyasdev can offer the obeisances to his spiritual master on that very minute. And that too in what way is given here? That which is to be given to Brahmaji, the creator. That obeisance is given by Narada. So with this we complete 1.4, that is first canto, 4th chapter. Yeah, this chapter more of questions, so I didn't want to spend more time, because then we will be having more, we'll have to spend more time with other things. So anybody has got any